Welcome to Age Friendly Cleveland. My name is Mary McNamara, and I'm the director of the Cleveland Department of Aging. Across our country, we have what we call an aging network of services because no one division of government, agency, hospital system, or faith-based group provides all the services an older adult might need to age successfully. As examples, some older adults may need transportation or in-home health care, modifications to the home, or resources for staying engaged after retirement. It is our hope with this Age Friendly Cleveland series that you might learn more about the resources right here in Cleveland. This next segment is about one of the trusted agencies we work closely with every day to make Cleveland an age-friendly city.
Today we're talking about transportation. I'm Enrique Correa, and we're joined by Janice Dzigiel, the Executive Director of the Senior Transportation Connection. Janice, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Enrique.
Please tell us about your organization and its rich history.
Sure. Well, we're a nonprofit organization that was founded in 2006 with the sole mission of providing an avenue of independence for older adults, and we do that by providing transportation services. We provide a high degree of physical assistance to the people that we serve. We carry their bags, we carry their groceries. So we've been doing this for going on 13 years now. In 2015, we delivered our 1 millionth ride, and this year, in 2017, we delivered about 150,000 rides.
Tell me why this is so important.
For older people to get out, for many people, the loss of driving is a huge loss, and they don't know what are they going to do next to go to the doctor, go to the grocery store, perhaps they just want to go to church. Senior Transportation Connection fills that gap. We currently have 57 vehicles in our fleet. We have a well-trained group of drivers who are very dedicated to providing a high level of customer service.
You're talking about customer service. Tell me the types of services you provide.
Sure. So most of our services are actually medical related, particularly in the city of Cleveland. System-wide in our 29 communities and the city of Cleveland, we're delivering about 600 trips a day. About a third of those are medical related. A third would be senior centers, community centers, and a third would be everything else. Grocery shopping, going to the hairdresser, wherever people need to go.
How does the STCs work and contribute to making Cleveland more age-friendly and help these people be more independent?
Absolutely. So when the age-friendly study was undertaken, it indicated that about 11% of those between 60 and 75 were using a service like Senior Transportation Connection. That number goes up as people age. So people 75 and older, about 15% of Cleveland residents were using a service like ours. Older adults are still driving, but for many, due to frailty, due to never have driven, due to sometimes perhaps a temporary situation where they can't drive, Senior Transportation Connection is that solution.
It seems it sort of may be difficult for some people because they like their independence. They don't want to depend on other people.
Absolutely.
What would you tell some of these seniors that they want their independence, but it's safer for them to get a ride rather than them to drive?
And I ask those individuals to think about us as a different kind of independence. We're not as easy as going out to your garage and unlocking your car and driving away, because we have some procedures, but our goal is to help people do what they want to do on a daily basis.
Who's eligible for these services?
Right now in Cuyahoga County, it's older adults who are 60 or older. That's the requirement in the city of Cleveland as well. And these are people who either don't want to drive, need that additional assistance with transportation, and that's the basic eligibility.
Does it help on days where it's sub-zero temperatures and it's snowing outside and a lot of these seniors need to get someplace? Is this a great service for them in this time?
Absolutely. And in the winter, we do see a slight increase in people using our services for those very reasons. They don't want to be out in the cold. They don't want to get in a cold vehicle. They may be afraid of falling on the ice, and our driver will assist to ensure that doesn't happen. And it's very important, especially for some of our older adults, to get to that senior center for their hot lunch, to get to their dialysis appointment for their appointment. So it's very important what we do and how we do it.
How can someone watching the program now register to get a ride?
We are in a very strong partnership with the City of Cleveland Department on Aging for a couple of reasons. One, they help identify consumers in the City of Cleveland who may benefit by using Senior Transportation Connection. They can also identify if that individual may qualify for other services that they can link them to. So the first call for anyone in Cleveland would be to the City Department on Aging, and I'm sure that number will show up somewhere. They register the individual. It's some questions over the phone. We get that information, put it into our system, and we call the individual to let them know they're now ready to use the service.
So now if they're ready to use the service, how do they set up a ride?
Sure. So they would call our call center, which is open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. We ask that they call at least 3 days in advance of their trip, and that they have the complete address of the destination they're going. So if that's a medical building, we'd like the doctor's name and number. So we get that information, and then we're able to book the trip, confirm it with them, and then what we do the day before is we'll call them. It's an automated call that reminds them that they have a trip at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon.
You have a call center. What about online?
We have a website. We're on Facebook and some social media, but we currently are not doing registrations as an online procedure.
It's just easier to call.
It's just easier to call.
Okay. And with all these services, how much does a trip cost?
A trip to an older adult consumer in the City of Cleveland is $1.25 each way. Our work in Cleveland is supported by the city and City Council through Community Development Block Grant funding.
Where will Senior Transportation Connection, where will it go? What are the boundaries?
In terms of Cleveland, we do have some restrictions. First of all, for any medical-related trip, we will go anywhere in the Cuyahoga County boundary. For personal trips such as grocery shopping, getting your hair done, we are looking at a 10-mile radius from the individual's home 10 miles out.
That's amazing. Even services like that we take for granted, you would think a lot of the seniors would want to use just to go to the doctor, but going to the hairstylist and different things like that, I mean, that's very important, don't you think?
Oh, Enrique, my mother would argue that getting her hair done is more important than seeing her doctor. So,
I think many women would say that. It gives them their independence still,
it does.
which they need.
It does, of course.
Okay. How about nights and weekends?
We recently started a premium service, and by that I mean those services are not covered by any other funding. So it's a self-pay program that the individual would pay us directly. We were able to pilot that program in 2017. People were using our services on weekends to go to worship services,
Wow.
to go to Playhouse Square. We took a family to see Christmas lights, and we actually took two couples, both were in wheelchairs, to a wedding reception.
Wow.
So we've expanded to meet the social, recreational, spiritual needs of older adults on evenings and weekends.
So on evenings and weekends, would it cost a little bit more, but it's basically they're getting almost like a taxi to take them someplace?
It's actually better than a taxi. Our drivers are vetted, are well trained, they are complete in a uniform and an ID. Our vehicles are all accessible. And we're counting on the fact these people know us Monday through Friday.
Right.
Now they know what they're getting on Saturday, Sunday, and in the evening.
So it's a win-win situation.
We believe it is.
And how about the handicapped?
All of our vehicles, except two, are accessible, and all of our drivers are trained appropriately in loading, unloading vehicles, wheelchair securement, and providing the level of assistance that people need.
Wheelchairs, even the electronic ones, and walkers?
Even the scooters, the walkers. We have some consumers with assistive animals, and we train our staff to deal with all of those situations.
What about last-minute cancellations? You know, something they have to change
Sure.
their mind, or
Just like this morning, the phones were ringing pretty hard. It's too cold to go out, and we understand that. We do ask that riders cancel their trip by 7 a.m. of the day of service. If no one answers the phone, we ask them to please leave a message. That allows us to rearrange our day and provide services where we're essentially needed that day.
What about jobs at the STC? People interested in helping others can come to we part-time or something.
Of course, we are in growth mode. We are currently looking at more contracts in 2018, so we want to hire drivers. Currently, those are all part-time positions. And what we're really looking for are people with a real sense of customer service, who really want to help older people. And what we hear from our drivers on a regular basis is they do feel appreciated, they feel needed, they get a lot of pats on the backs for coming and taking me out today, and they make a lot of friends.
Well, that's always important. That's always important to do things like that. How can someone apply?
Sure, so they can call our office. We're happy to send an application. That is online though. So if you go to our website, which is www.ridestc.org, we do have an online application process.
And tell me your phone number again.
Sure, 216-265-1489.
And where are your offices located?
We have two. Our main office is on West 150th in Cleveland near the airport, and we have an East Side garage that is on East 72nd near St. Clair. If people are coming in person to apply, we'd like them to come to the 150th office.
How does it make your organization feel that you're basically giving a lot of people their independence back? Because a lot of elderly people don't like to be stuck at home. They want to get out there.
And they don't want to ask their children, and they don't want to ask their neighbor.
They don't want to be a burden.
That's right.
So how does that make you feel as you're actually giving independence back to people?
It's important work, and I'm very fortunate to be doing it. And it's also real. I have a 92-year-old mother who has transportation issues. She's a registered rider for STC.
Thank you very much for joining us today. You know, you've told us a lot.
Truly my pleasure.
A lot of services that people can take advantage of that they didn't even know about. So I thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm sure the public out there is taking in that knowledge, writing down some notes, and hopefully they'll take advantage of all the services that we're going to tell them about.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. All right, I'm Enrique Correa for TV 20. Like I said, thanks for joining us. Remember, we are Cleveland.